Haley is a good photographer. Oh god, the infinite echo is coming. Better go. Alright, well, it sounded like everything was working. You see me in the stream and everything?
Yes, but you're a little dark.
I'm a little dark?
Mm-hmm.
Right now I'm a little dark?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I can see your whole body there. I can't see your mat.
You should be able to see my mat.
I can't see your mat.
It's angled up a little now. Do. No, because putting it on the couch help. How's that? That looks better. Why can't you tell me?
Oh yeah, that's much better.
Am I still?
The top, only the very, very tippy top of your head is cut off from your.
Am I still dark?
Yes, you're still dark.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have the lights on?
No. How is this?
That looks good.
Yeah. Okay, great.
Turn the kitchen light on. And maybe close the windows. The glare from the windows is what's doing it.
That is pretty out. Because I just closed the windows.
Go stand in the thing.
I am.
Yeah, no, it's all just still dark.
No.
That was actually worse.
I'm gonna open the windows. I don't see what you're talking about. When I look at myself on the laptop, it seems fine.
Okay.
Yeah, it looks more than fine. There is a delay though, so I can walk from it to the laptop. It's kind of like a creepy ghost. I'm a creepy ghost. Creepy ghost. Oh, is there a chat somewhere?
Mm-hmm.
I need to watch it on YouTube to see the chat. Is anyone there? How do I? Participants. Just me. I think. Oh.
it says this video is unavailable. Can you give me a different link?
Well, that's the link.
Well, it says this video is unavailable.
God damn it.
There's a problem with the server.
Works for me.
There's just my phone.
I click on it. Hit play.
Okay.
And there. What? Hello! Hello! Well, let me know if I show up. Okay, can you see me?
Yep. It just takes a while.
Yeah, takes. So it didn't work on your phone?
Yeah.
Here, try this link. Does that work?
Yes, it did. There's 4 people in here. I don't know if this one.
I don't know how to actually use it, but that's fine. Okay. You should be set up now. I'm going to. Hello. I don't actually know who's watching. I'm not sophisticated enough to figure that out. So if you're watching, just wave at your monitor or phone and we'll pretend that I see you. If you've got a mat, you can set it down. If not, a carpet or hardwood floor works just as fine. You can always use a towel or some kind of a rolled up blanket for underneath the knees. And I don't think we'll use them very much today, but if you have any kind of props that you can use as a block, something like a heavy book or a very sturdy box of cereal, although I don't really recommend that, any of those things can work. And let's take this time to start to settle in. doing it in your pajamas?
Mm-hmm.
Did you see my same but different shirt?
I did. Did you use your screen
Which screen?
yourself?
Up there?
No. Down
No. Why? Oh. No, I don't think so. Why?
there. I just didn't know.
Oh, you don't want. Hello. Got just another couple minutes before we'll get started. Take this time to come to a comfortable seat and start to settle in. If you've got a space marked out where you can practice, that'd be great. And if you're kind of dodging around boxes and things, that's just a different form of yoga, a different form of mindfulness. Oh, there's people watching. Hi, Ian. Got just another 2 minutes and then we'll get started. If you're in Seattle and you're near a window, you can take the next 2 minutes to appreciate how beautiful these days where we're cooped up inside are and look out the window. It was a lovely sunrise this morning, all of the colors. Hello, Patrick. I have to walk forward every time someone posts a comment because the screen is so far away. We'll go ahead and get started. Looks like there's just another minute or so before 7:30. So to begin with, find a comfortable seat, one that works for you. That can be kneeling like I am. You can kneel with a block or some kind of support between the thighs as well. Sit cross-legged or sit cross-legged up on a little bit of height. That can help stack the spine and tilt the pelvis forward a little bit. Once you've found your comfortable seat, start to settle in. Let the eyes soften or close. Bring the hands down to the thighs or into the lap. And start to draw your awareness to the breath. I always like to start off all of my classes with something that happened to me recently and how that relates to my practice or what we'll be practicing. And this feels very apropos and a little bit gross of a story, I guess. But yesterday I was clipping my nails because they had gotten to that point where they'd started to feel really long and they bothered me. And as I was clipping my nails, I remembered a time when I used to bite them. And then they would end up with those jagged edges that were sometimes or oftentimes worse than the feeling of them being long. They would constantly catch on things or snag on things, and they just felt really awful. And it got me thinking about how over the next couple of weeks, as we adapt to these new circumstances and might end up spending a lot of time at home, how some of the things that we encounter and some of the discomfort and uncomfortableness will be able to change and shift it around, but only with the appropriate tool, similar to the way that when I cut my nails with a nail clipper, it doesn't end up with those jagged edges. But when we try to force something just because it feels a little uncomfortable, that's when we end up biting our nails, ending up with those jagged edges, those pieces that feel like if we just left it alone in the first place, it might have been better. So our work over the next couple weeks, and maybe over the next couple of months, is to identify those pieces that we can change, that we can make a little bit better with the appropriate tools, and to identify those things that would just be better if we sat with the discomfort a little bit and left them alone. And so for practice today, I'd like to offer that up as an intent to really spend some time noticing the difference in your body between discomfort and pain. Oftentimes, when there's a little bit of discomfort, we'll immediately pull back. But if we sit with it for a little while, we may come to the realization that it's not so bad. But there's a difference between discomfort and pain. And we always want to avoid any kind of just sharp stabbing pain in the body. We don't need to sit with that. There's nothing for us there. With all that being said, let's take a few rounds of breath here in this seated pose. Begin by breathing in through the nose. And exhale out the mouth, HA. Breathe in through the nose. And exhale out the mouth. One more time, in through the nose. And exhale out the mouth, lion's breath. Stick out your tongue. Maybe even flap your arms if that feels good. Come back to the normal breath. And if your eyes were closed, go ahead and open them now. Make your way up to standing. I've found that I've been spending a lot of time over the past 2 weeks sitting down. So spending as much time as possible on my feet, standing, even eating dinner, standing around the kitchen table, I think is a helpful way to get a little bit more movement than I have been otherwise. And so at standing, your feet can be hip width apart, or you can heel toe the feet together to touch. We're going to start with taking a couple of wrist rolls. So let the shoulders relax down and back, and start to circle the wrist out towards the sides of the mat, or towards the sides of whatever space you're using. And the fingers can be loose and long, or you can squeeze them a little bit into fists. As we start these little movements, stay with the breath. Keep the focus with each inhale and each exhale, and start to drive your attention down into the feet, down into the toes and into the heels. After your next circle, start to rotate the wrists in towards the center, in towards your body. Notice if this feels any different. If there's spots along the way that it catches here that it didn't going the opposite direction, any of those snags or jagged edges, and see if you can lean into that a little bit. Then let the wrists come down to stillness. We're going to travel up the arms, shrug the shoulders up towards the ears. Inhale, lift the shoulders up. And exhale, bring them down the back, squeeze the shoulder blades together. Inhale, raise the shoulders up towards the ears. And exhale, squeeze them down in the back. Inhale, lift up one more time. Really squeeze the shoulders towards the ears. And exhale, pull them back and down. Come to stand with the palms facing forward in mountain. Heel toe the feet together to touch now. Inhale, sweep the arms out. Lift the hands up. Bring the palms together to touch overhead. And exhale, hands down, palms through the heart center. Inhale, sweep the arms out. Lift the hands up. Bring the gaze high. Tilt the head back slightly. And exhale, hands down through heart center. Inhale one more time, arms out wide, lift them up, bring the gaze high. And exhale, hands down through heart center, bring the palms back by the hips, facing forward. Inhale, raise the chest, squeeze the shoulders together, tilt the head back, bring the gaze up slightly. Exhale, round forward, hunch forward, push the spine up, tuck the chin towards the chest. Inhale, raise the heart, squeeze the shoulders together, lift the chest, tilt the chin up. And exhale, round forward, pull the stomach in tight, engage the core. Inhale, raise the chest one more time, squeeze the shoulders in. And exhale, round forward, peel the shoulders apart, tuck the chin towards the chest, let the head grow heavy. Inhale, lift back up to standing, sweep the arms out, lift the hands up, palms come together to touch overhead. Exhale, bend over to the right, reach through the left side body, really reach through the fingers. Inhale, lift the palms back up. And exhale, bend over to the left, reach through the right side. Inhale to rise. And exhale, bend over to the right. Try to keep the hips level with each other. Don't bend so far that you start to kind of dip down into the right hip. Inhale, lift the hands up, and exhale over to the left. Really reach through the right pinky and the right forefinger. Inhale, back up, and exhale one more time over to the right. Reach through the hands, through the arms, through the left side. Inhale to lift, and exhale last time over to the left. I kind of feel like Jane Fonda saying that. Inhale, bring the hands up high. And exhale, palms together down through heart center. Rest the hands down by the hips. Start to sway from left to right. This can be as fast or as slow as you'd like. Sometimes it can be fun to spread the feet apart a little bit and really just swing. Be as light through the arms as possible. Let them be heavy. Let them hang down towards the hips. Hit yourself with them. Not in a mean way, but just in a, wake up, it's morning way, I guess. Take one more round of breath here. And then come back to stillness. If the feet separated, bring the toes and the heels back together. Inhale, lift the arms out, bring the gaze up, reach the hands high. And exhale, start to shift the weight back into the heels, bend into the knees, lower the hips down into chair. Reach the hands up high, take a moment to glance down at your toes, and if you can't see them, shift a little bit more weight back into the heels. And then tuck the tailbone to help lengthen through the spine, reach the crown of the head up towards the ceiling. If this feels a little pinchy in the shoulders, start to externally rotate the arms to bring the pinkies closer towards each other. Or bring the hands down, palms together at heart center, or cross them on opposite elbows. Really engage through the core, and the way to do that is to squeeze the thighs in towards each other firmly. This helps to activate the lower core, the transverse abdominals. Take 2 more rounds of breath here to really warm up the legs and the thighs. Inhale, reach the hands up, keep the knees bent. Exhale, fold forward over the knees like a dipping bird. Bring your palms down to in front of the feet. Take a moment here to feel out the hamstrings. Are they feeling tight? Do they feel a little bit loose? Really engage through the thighs, engage through the glutes. Lift the hips up and back a little bit, and maybe start to straighten the legs just until you feel that stretch through the hamstrings. And once there, keep the knees bent. Feel free to come up onto the tips of the fingers or onto some kind of height like a block or a book. And from this position, inhale, lift halfway, lift the torso, keep the knees bent if they're bent, bring the palms to thighs or shins, flat back, chest parallel with the floor. Exhale, plant the palms down, step both feet back to a plank. Stay in this high plank or lower down to the knees to decrease the intensity a little bit. Or if you'd like to add another layer, you can come down onto the forearms for more of a core focus. In whichever variation you're in, we'll be there for 5 breaths. And really breathe down into the palms. Press down firmly into the ground to lift up through the shoulders. Lift the chest a little bit higher. Feel the shoulders pull around the bottom of the ribs. Take 2 more breaths here. And inhale, lower down to the knees, and then all the way down to the mat. Stay for the exhale. Untuck the toes. Press down into the ground with the tops of the feet and the palms. Inhale, squeeze the elbows in, raise the chest, cobra. And exhale, push back onto the knees, push the hips back low, bring the chest and forehead down for child's pose. Reach the arms out long. And to add a little bit of complexity, you can really press down into the palms, and you may feel a stretch through the outer shoulder or along the serratus anterior just underneath. Take 3 rounds of breath here, and then we're going to move through what I've started just calling the yogi worm, from child's pose to cobra and back to child's pose. It's a nice little wake up the spine movement. Take 1 more round of breath. Inhale, lift the hips up. And exhale, walk the hands forward, lower down onto the forearms and elbows, down the hips, all the way down to the belly. Inhale, palms underneath shoulders, press down with the tops of the feet and the hands, raise the chest, cobra. And exhale, push back onto the knees, push the hips back low for child's pose. Inhale, lift the hips up and forward. Exhale, walk the hands forward, lower down onto the elbows, down all the way to the belly. Inhale, hands underneath shoulders, press down with the palms and feet, raise the chest, cobra. Exhale, roll the hips back up, child's pose. 1 more time. Inhale, lift the hips up. Exhale, walk the hands forward, lower down to the chest. Inhale, hands underneath shoulders, raise chest, squeeze elbows in, cobra. Exhale, push back onto the knees, push the hips back low, child's pose. Take 3 rounds of breath here. And come back to that intent of leaning into any potential discomfort, but identifying any pain along the way. Notice if you've encountered any of those jagged edges moving through this little yogi worm. Take 1 more round of breath here. And inhale, lift the hips up. And exhale, tuck the toes, raise the knees. Start to lift the hips up and back. Come slowly into the first downward facing dog. Keep the knees bent quite a lot here. And notice what happens the more I bend the knees, the closer I get to the ground. So engage through the thighs and through the quads to lift the hips up a little bit higher. Press through the palms to lengthen through the arms and to elevate the scapula to keep the shoulders away from the ears. And from there, you can start to lower the heels down a little bit if they'd like. Take 2 rounds of breath here. And inhale, raise the right leg up. And exhale, slowly step the right foot forward between the hands, lower the left knee down, untuck the left toes. Inhale, raise the chest, reach the hands up, bring the gaze high, low crescent. And exhale, bend the elbows, squeeze the shoulder blades together, raise the chest for a little baby back bend. Inhale, raise the arms, lift the hands up. And exhale, bend the elbows, squeeze the shoulders, really raise through the chest. Inhale, lift the hands up. And exhale one more time, bend the elbows, squeeze the shoulders, raise the chest. Imagine as if there's a block and you're pressing into it. Inhale, lift the hands up. And exhale, lower the hands down around the right foot, low lunge. Inhale, press down with the left hand, twist up with the right. And exhale, lower the right hand down. Inhale, down with the left, twist up with the right. And exhale to lower. One more time, inhale the right hand high, reach through the right fingers. And exhale, bring the right hand down, frame the right foot. Inhale, tuck the left toes, raise the left knee. And exhale, send the right foot back to meet the left in plank. Inhale, shift forward, tuck the elbows in. And exhale, lower all the way down to the mat. Inhale, untuck the toes, raise the chest down with the palms and feet, cobra. And exhale, push the hips back low for child's pose, or lift the hips up and back for down dog. Take 3 rounds of breath here. If you're in child's pose, start to make your way up to down dog. And from down dog, inhale, raise the left leg up. And exhale, step the left foot between the hands, lower the right knee down, untuck the right toes. Inhale, raise the chest, reach the arms up, low crescent. Exhale, bend the elbows, raise the chest, squeeze the shoulders together and lift the heart for a little cactus back bend. Inhale, bring the hands high. And exhale, bend and squeeze and lift. Inhale, raise the hands. And exhale to bend and lift the chest. Inhale up one more time. And exhale, hands down, frame the left foot. Inhale, press down with the right hand, twist up with the left. Try to keep both hips pointing towards the front of the mat. And exhale, left hand down. Inhale, press down with the right, twist up with the left. And exhale to lower. Inhale one more time, sweep the left hand towards the sky. And exhale, bring the left hand down. Inhale, tuck the right toes, raise the right knee. Exhale, send the left foot back to meet the right. Inhale, shift forward, tuck the elbows in. Exhale, lower all the way down. Inhale, untuck the toes, squeeze the elbows in, raise the chest for cobra, engage the back body. Exhale, push back over the knees, come back low for child's pose or up and back for down dog. Your choice. Take 5 rounds of breath this time. Come back to that intent of exploring discomfort versus pain. There is this misconception in yoga that poses, sometimes there's this misconception that poses should look a certain way or should feel a certain way. But we all have very unique bodies, and we all come to our practice with all sorts of history behind us. These poses aren't going to look identical, and they're not going to feel identical between us. But we can push against those edges of discomfort and identify areas that we can grow, and then areas that are just a part of our physiology, and we should just leave alone sometimes. Take 1 more round of breath here. If you're in child's pose, start to work your way up to down dog. From down dog, inhale, bend the knees, gaze towards the top of the mat. And exhale, walk, step, or jump between your hands.
Heel toe the feet together to touch. Inhale, lift halfway, palms on thighs or shins, chest parallel with the floor. Exhale, plant the palms back down on the mat. Inhale, slight bend in the knees, sweep the arms out, lift the arms high, stand all the way up, Urdhva Hastasana. And exhale, bend into the knees, lower the hips, shift the weight back into the heels, lower into chair. Bring the gaze up. Take a moment to glance at the toes and shift the weight back into the heels if needed. And if you'd like to add on a little bit more of a heart opener, you can bring your hands clasped behind the hips and squeeze the fingers in towards each other to lift through the chest. Try to have this come more from the shoulders instead of from pulling down with the hands. Try to engage the shoulder blades to pull them down and back to raise the chest. Take 2 rounds of breath here. Inhale, still with the knees bent, reach the hands up. And exhale, fold forward over the knees, bring the hands down in front of the toes. Inhale, lift halfway, palms on thighs or shins, squeeze the shoulders in towards each other. And exhale, plant the palms, step both feet back to a plank. Inhale, lower down to the knees, and exhale, lower all the way down to the mat. From here, bring your arms back alongside your body. We're going to go and do 1 round of locust, just to start to wake up the back a little bit before I know I'm about to sit at a desk for a while. So inhale, lift the chest, raise the heart, squeeze the shoulders in towards each other and lift the legs up. Press the fingers back towards the feet and flex through the toes. Engage the hamstrings and the legs to lift a little higher. And if you'd like to add on a layer to this, you can bring the feet together and clasp the hands back behind the hips again. And remember to squeeze the shoulders. We don't want to yank the shoulder blades or the shoulders out of their socket. Stay here for 2 rounds of breath. And exhale, release down, rest on the right cheek or on the left cheek, whichever direction you like the most. We'll actually do 1 more round because I think in the coming times we could all use a lot more back bending and heart opening. So you can stick with the first variation with the feet spread wide, or try the other variation with the feet together and the hands clasped. When you're ready, inhale, bring the chin back towards the center, and then raise the chest, lift the legs, lift the arms, press the hands back towards the feet, and then determine if you'd like to play with that other layer. Take 3 rounds of breath here. And exhale, release, lower down, rest on the other cheek. I'm not going to because that means I'm talking away from you. Take 3 rounds of breath here. Feel the belly move underneath the body. Let the hands and legs sink down into the ground. After your 3 breaths, bring your hands underneath the shoulders, push onto one of your sides, and roll over all the way onto your back. Walk the heels in close to your hips, and inhale, lift the feet up parallel with the floor. Bring the palms down beside the hips. And we're just going to do some leg kicking here, kind of like a child throwing a tantrum. Start to kick the feet up and down. You can even kick hard enough that the heels hit down into the butt. This will just help to wake up the hips a little bit for the rest of our day. Maybe be a little bit more alert when we're sitting on the chair or on a couch. Do these leg kicks for another 3 rounds of breath. And after your 3 rounds of breath, let the feet grow still. Wrap your arms around the front of the shins or the back of the thighs and squeeze the knees in towards your chest for a little hug. Rock from left to right to massage the lower spine. If you're on a surface that's very soft, you may not feel it. Kind of like me. I'm on a mat and a rug, so I don't get my little massage. And whenever you're ready in these final moments, take any final poses or preparations you need to before we have a brief Shavasana. That might be some form of a supine twist or some form of a shoulder stand or legs up the wall. You can use the hands underneath the hips to help protect the lower back. Or come down into Shavasana, and there's a few options. You can come down with the knees knocked together and the feet mat width apart. This is a nice lower back release. Or with the soles of the feet and the heels together with the knees out wide on the back in Supta Baddha Konasana. Or in regular old corpse pose with the legs out long and the arms along the side with the palms facing up. Before settling down completely, take one last deep inhale. Breathe in as deep as possible. Feel the breath fill the belly, fill the lungs, expand the chest, open the collarbones, and hold it at the top. Hold it for as long as you can, not so long that you start to see stars or black out. But hold that space, and then breathe out. Release everything. Release your awareness on the breath. Let your fingers and toes and arms and legs grow heavy. Let your head sink down into the mat or into the carpet. If your eyes are still open, let them grow soft or close. And take these next few minutes to feel your body, to be present in this moment, to accept all of the smooth edges and all of the jagged edges as just one part of the whole. slowly start to come back into your body, beginning with the breath. Add some movement into your fingers and toes and arms and legs. Stretch the arms and hands overhead like a cat waking up from a nap. Start to rock the hips from left to right. Eventually roll over onto whichever side is your favorite. And take your time to push yourself up into a seat. If it feels right to you, bring your hands together, palms touching, and bow your head to seal our practice. Thank you all very much for showing up this morning and for joining me on this digital yoga adventure. May we all go through the rest of the day, noticing the differences between discomfort and pain and leaning in to those things that are a little unusual over the next few weeks. Namaste. Thanks, everyone. This was super fun, and I'll be doing it again Tuesday. So if you liked it, come on back. And if you didn't, feel free to tell me why. I always love feedback, and good feedback, bad feedback, constructive criticism, whatever you got. Have a great day.